Our guest today was the 18th overall pick out of Delaware. He also happens to be an 18-year NFL vet. 2008 Rookie of the Year, 2023 Comeback Player of the Year, Super Bowl 47 MVP, and the new starting quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, baby. Give a big Fitz Whit welcome to Joe Flacco.
Hey, Joe.
Joe's in the house. Let's go.
Joe, how'd you celebrate that big victory? You go out to the club with the boys or
Yeah,
what?
come on.
You know how I did it, man. You know,
Sixth Street?
That's right. I hit
Rooftop at the Lido place.
I was gonna say that. There we go, right there, right at the Lido Park Hotel.
My favorite part about that day is I'm going out to get some fresh air Thursday afternoon, and I just see you cruising around the parking lot, going to your car. And
I hear my name. I hear my name, and I'm like, should I turn around? Like, who is that? You know,
Yeah.
Or should I just keep walking?
What's your least favorite part about night games, Joe?
Oh
man.
my gosh. Well, I got to tell you, it was worth it. That game was worth the wait in the end, but my goodness, is there nothing to do during the day? And if you've been in that, if you're ever in that situation as an athlete, you're trying to find ways to distract yourselves from what you have coming at 8:15. But you can't. You're just thinking
Yeah.
about it from the time you wake up to the time you take the field. So I mean, that's why 1 o'clock games are so great. Even those, I wish sometimes they started at 11:30 and we could just get going.
yeah.
I hate
There's no doubt.
like
Earlier the
pregame-
better.
Dude, pregame warm-ups, I'm like, all right, can we just like get out there and get back in and like start the game? I cannot stand it all. It's just like all the time before the game, man. It's just like, let's go.
It is, Joe. I think it's wild because you hear in the league like all the time when it comes to primetime games, people talk about the young guys and like, oh man, can they handle the day? I got worse at it as I got older. It was like the day felt so long. I'm so used to like with kids, with everything else, my
Yeah.
day starting so early in the morning that I'm like, man, sitting there at 5 o'clock, just like, can we please, God, play this game? Like I got to get going. Like this is just, it's too long. And truth be told, there was probably a third quarter, fourth quarter, there were a couple yawns and a couple of those primetime games, depending on how the games go. That's just the fact. But it is, dude, it's brutal sitting around waiting for those things.
Oh my gosh, especially when you're on the road and you're just in a hotel, and that's kind of how I am right now at home. So, you know, listen, if my kids were here and my wife was here, it would be just as bad because you kind of want to go hang out with them and take your mind off of it, but you're still distracted. And I always just end up getting over to the locker room as early as I can, and kind of, I feel like once I get that out of the way, I do take that next step towards just kind of like settling in and getting ready for the game.
When I was a young player, we were not young player, younger player. We got Jeff Fain for like probably like midway through the season. We had some injury at center. And he comes in, and he was the guy every game, really, especially night games. You'd come in 3 hours before the game starts. He is full head to toe in gear, like medicated. He's taking all his pills. Like
Yeah.
he's loaded up, just sitting in his locker, just waiting. And I'm like, dude, you are an absolute maniac. I could never do that. Are you an early dress guy or a late dress guy? What is?
I don't get dressed early. I get dressed. We go out probably an hour before, maybe 45 minutes before warm-up start, and we do a little throwing session. And when I come back in from that is when I get dressed. I remember though, like my first few years, like let's say it was a 1 o'clock game, like I'd go eat pregame meal at the hotel. I'd get over to the locker room in Baltimore, and I would put my pants on right away. I'd put my pads in my pants and my pants on. And I don't know how many years I did that, but that was the first thing I did. So I had my game day pants and socks on from like 9 o'clock, 9:30, all the way up until 5 o'clock when I took them off.
Yeah, mine, as the season went on, usually my pants got a little bit tighter. So I could definitely not do that. I had this one year, Gus Farrat, it was my second year in the league, was pranking me in preseason, and I went from a 36 to a 34
There
to a
you go.
32. Yeah. What is your pregame, like before the actual, routes with the receivers and whatever, what is your pregame routine throwing wise? I was just like, I like to stand 10 yards away and just play catch for a little bit, but I know some guys like to get a sweat. They like to get their throw on. What do you like to do?
Yeah, I go out there and I just, I grab an equipment guy, go out there and throw the ball around. I start at 10 yards and I might go all the way back to 40, 50 yards kind of, and then I kind of usually come back in and finish back up at 10 yards, but doesn't have to be a long time, just kind of getting the arm loose. And then here everybody has a little bit different routine, and I kind of just go with the flow, whatever that team is used to doing. So we go out there and the receivers and tight ends, and we just throw a handful of routes. It probably takes 7 or 8 minutes once we start throwing those routes. I start like playing catch while they're doing like an optional activation on the field. I always skip all those activations. I just go play.
Me too.
You're activated, baby.
Yeah,
You think
activated.
you could have made that throw that Rodgers made at the end of the game?
I can still throw it 70 yards, but like to do it in a game and to get the space to do it, I hope so. It was pretty impressive that he was able to get it there, though. In my experience, a lot of the times the ball does travel a little bit easier in games. You're not thinking about, but that's when you're not really thinking about trying to throw it far. Like if you're just throwing a post route, like 55 comes out easy. But when you have to think about it, like,
right,
I'm gonna have to get this 170, like that actually does make it a little bit harder. So the fact that he was able to do it, pretty impressive.
55 comes out easy, Fitz.
It would have bounced on the 20 if I threw that ball. You know that.
Hey, you know what? It just comes out a little harder in the games. I think I need to figure this out at American Century, because that's what the problem is with my tee shots. That's what I'm not realizing. In action, that's why I'm hitting it in the water, because it's just flying a little further in action. That's a key note right there.
There probably is some truth to that, though. You're a little bit extra juiced up. Just go nice, just go nice and smooth, and you'll be right where you want to be.
I love that. So, Joe, one of the things that Fitz and I talked about a little bit in pregame, and he kind of shared it with us during the week, and you mentioned throwing to the receivers. One of those challenges, like obviously there's all these things we can get into with getting traded midseason and just the chaos, but even just as simple as every route, the routes are the routes, but where a guy likes the ball thrown, or what kind of, where they want the ball placed and where you like to put the ball, like all those things are like things you fill out, much like linemen working together on double teams and twist and everything else. So talk a little bit about that. Like, what's the challenge? Like when you first got there, is it literally just the concept of like how simple it is? Like I'm just trying to execute the plays, and then kind of figuring out where does Jamar Chase or T Higgins or whoever, where is it that I want to fill out how to throw them the football in certain situations?
I mean, the first time, honestly, like I know I'm 40 years old, but the first couple times I threw to Jamar and T, like I was a little bit nervous. I'm like, man, I want them to know. I
want them to respect me, damn it.
I do. You do. I want to hit these guys. Like I want them to know, like, hey, I can put some nice touch on it. I can put it right. I can put it where you want it. So I overthought it for sure. Like I think one of the first balls I threw to Jamar, he was running like one of these little skinny posts we have, and he was a little bit deeper than I thought he was going to be, and I missed him, and I was just like, oh man, he thinks I suck. Here we go. And I don't do that very often, especially in routes versus air. So I was like, damn, man, stop overthinking it. Just throw the damn ball. So yeah, but it really was just, listen, with those guys especially, just put it somewhere around them and they'll make you look good.
Yeah.
That's so funny because I still remember my rookie year. I'm fourth string, and I was throwing to the running backs in preseason. And so the running back I was throwing to was Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
And it was like so nervous. Like there were swing passes. You could throw them with your eyes closed.
Right.
And I was like one hopping them to Marshall. So that makes me laugh that you are, year 18, still thinking about that every now and again. Obviously, it wasn't the case when the game started because you were humming that ball all over the place. But what about your kids, man? I just think back to, so when I stopped playing, my kids were 14 and 12. My two oldest boys were 14 and 12. And it was the coolest thing for them to be able to see dad out there throwing the ball around. I got to imagine your boys at school on Friday had to be the most popular dudes on campus.
I think it's pretty cool for them. I was just talking about this with somebody. It's a little bit different because they're back in like Eagles country with all their buddies. So I do think they are somewhat sheltered from like the highs and lows of the football season with me.
Yeah.
But man, like I got my 13-year-old, like he's sending me YouTube videos at 1:30 in the morning after the game.
That's awesome.
And then they all want the Jamar Chase jersey and the T Higgins jersey and everything like that. So
do your boys have an opinion on Kevin Patullo and Saquon and the Eagles offense? Or
yeah, can we get them on here real quick just to give us a couple?
It's brutal, man. Eagles fans are brutal.
They're mean.
Yeah, it is. Hey, listen, it's a passionate city to kind of grow up in with your sports teams, and they live it. They kind of wear it on their sleeves. So
And what about the separation for you and the fam during the season? I did that 2 of my 17 years. When I was in Miami, the family was in Tampa, and I didn't move them. So I was trying to do the back and forth as much as I could. And you know how it goes during the season, where especially when you're playing, that's got to be the main focus. How have you been able to adjust to that and manage that as the years have gone by?
yeah, I think it's just one of those things. Like it's where we are in life. It's where me and my wife are, and our kids are, and I think the biggest thing is I have support from all of them. Like my kids want me to do this till I'm 50 years old. My wife, I don't know if she quite feels that way, but she's all in. And I think when you have the most important people to you in the world that feel that way, it does make it easier to go with the flow. And obviously there's tough things about it. Like I love being around my family, and to kind of be out here by myself is hard, but there's a task at hand. And I love doing this, and it's good to have them on my side. I think when you're looking at it from afar, and when you're kind of heading into the season, you know there will be challenges, but you kind of downplay them. And then as the season comes along, some of those challenges are maybe a little bit harder than you thought, but you just kind of go with the flow. I mean, I definitely benefit from having a family that's able to kind of roll with the punches a little bit, and allow me to do the things that I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main storylines here is like our wives and how amazing they are. Um, and to allow us to do what we do and to handle all the duties and responsibilities at home. Because there are so many challenges that come up. And I think the hard thing for fans to appreciate is we watch you play on Thursday night, and we watch you play on Sundays, and you don't think about anything outside of the football realm and the things that you're dealing with and the sacrifices that you're making because of the things that you're missing with your kids. But I always found, you're going to have plenty of time to catch up. I'm in that mode right now of,
Oh man, are we?
I've been out of town for like 6 of the last 8 weekends on soccer trips and stuff.
Yeah.
Which has been quite crazy. But what kind of sports are your kids into, and what kind of father are you at sporting events?
Ooh, I do want to know this one.
Well, right now, I mean, my kids kind of roll from one sport to another. So, like right now, I have all my boys playing tackle football. My daughter's doing some gymnastics, doing some dance. This is the second year they've played tackle. This is probably a little bit more serious league than they were in last year, but I think last year was a really good introduction for them. On game days for my kids, I go sit up in the bleachers or sit up in a chair, and I don't say a word.
I love that.
I can be pretty calm. Now it's a different story when I'm out on the field with them. When we're doing little sessions on our own. My goodness, now my father was super patient, was awesome. I thought I would be that way, and I'm not even close. Not even.
Oh gosh.
I can't help myself. I'll be throwing BP to him, and I'll be throwing BP, and I'm just like, what the hell are you doing? You got to hit it, and I'm after every pitch, I'm doing some kind of like, come on, man,
Yeah.
you got to do this, you got to do that, and I'm switching it up every time. I'm saying something new, and they know that.
Yep.
And they're sitting there. They're probably frustrated as hell. Dad's yelling at me. He just said 2 seconds ago not to do that. Now he's saying do it. Now he's saying do this, and I'm all over the place.
Yes.
And it's not who I want to be, but in the moment, sometimes it's hard to control. I think I've gotten a little bit better at it as they've gotten a little bit older. But at least on game day, I can go let them do their thing.
Man, I've done that so many times. I'm sitting there like, holy crap. I've just told him 17 different instructions. Like, there's no freaking way. Like, I am who I hated. Like, I'm who I hated.
know.
When a coach is like telling me 7,000 things, I'm doing the same exact thing. Listen, I think I shared this with you the other night. We were sitting there hanging out after the game. Like, it is so frustrating. And I was much better at baseball. I actually did the whole deal. I would just go like stand behind the outfield fence, like lean on the fence and just watch. Like, far as I could get away, I would just stand over there and watch. Now in football, it's a whole lot harder, I feel like, because I want to stay back there. but then I don't want to stay back there because I get frustrated. So then in the last couple of years, I've been helping coach, and that's even worse because now you're on the field, you're in the action, and it's everybody. Like you feel like all of them are your kids, and so you're like very involved emotionally. And man, I tell you what, I've had some interactions, but the sideline ref this past week, sideline judge was like former player in college or something. Anyways, he's an athlete, and like he looked at me at one point and he goes, I'm getting a little insight into what you were like as a player listening to you talk trash over here because I'm over here just hot. I'm in it. I'm in it, man. I'm in it.
It's funny because I think I'm a lot better actually watching them play football because like baseball can be so technical and like you want them to throw the ball right, and then you don't want them to you want them to be aggressive at the plate, but they also need to kind of swing right. But really, they just need to go hit the ball in their own way and figure it out for themselves. But like football, at the end of the day, like when I go watch my kids play football, like it's really like especially at this age, but ultimately overall, it's like what kind of effort are you putting in? You know, and when they're out there putting good effort in, like I'm pretty good to like lay back and just watch. Like my 13-year-old, like he's not getting a ton of playing time and he's playing wide receiver. It's honestly probably the best for him because he's super undersized in the league he's playing in. But when he got in this weekend, like everything he did was full speed. Everything he was going to block the corner. Well, he was going to go block that corner, and he was going to go in that jet sweep motion as fast as he could. And honestly, like I was super proud of that because like you can't really coach some of that stuff. And with football, that stuff does become really important. Like I don't know what position, like, but like you can find it. If you can do those things, you can find a position on a football field and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's what's crazy. Even coaching my kids now, and you're in that age group like you're talking about, we're in the same thing, 12, 13, 14-year-olds, and it's like all the ages and sizes, like everybody's so different. And it's like, I think the kids sometimes think I'm joking when I'm literally like, it's like we play some huge team with a lot of older kids and they beat us. And I'm like the whole time, like the only thing I care about is how hard you play and how you respond to like getting blocked, because that really will be the only thing that matters in football is like how many times you're willing to re-strap up your chin strap and go hit the guy again and play hard and play fast. Like that'll inevitably, like it will be what matters to you as a football player. Like all this stuff at this age doesn't really matter other than that. Like how hard do you play? Like how willing are you to go play with your brothers and sacrifice yourself? Like that's football. Like that's what it is. And it's so it is kind of frustrating too, because after games, you'll get the whole parents are so frustrated and this kid needs this and this kid needs that. And I'm like, no, they don't. All they need to do is sign back up, play next week and play just as hard. Like that's all they need to learn how to do. And if they do that, they're going to be in a great place.
Joe, I've got a point of contention sometimes in my marriage and parenting skills is the way that I approach sports with my daughters and with my sons, and the fact that it's different.
Oh yeah.
Are you at that? How old's your daughter? Are you at that point yet with your daughter?
She's 9, and no, I'm not, and I don't feel like she's like super. She's not super aggressive. She's definitely a little girl. She likes doing little girl things. I'm trying to find things for her. I want to kind of expose her to as much as possible. But there's different expectations for my boys and for my little girl. Like, and
is that right though? Is that right to have? Like that's
what we've tried to figure out, Joe. We don't know.
I think everybody's different, but I think every father has, depending on how you were brought up and depending on the life you're living, like every father has different, like, I guess, aspirations for their kids. I mean, ultimately you're going to have to let go at some point, and they're going to be the ones that make those decisions. But I want her to have a good high school experience, and I want her to have good friends. And I think that sports can really teach you a lot mentally, and it can surround you with some really good people, and it can allow you to make some friends that you'll have for life. Like that's kind of my goals when I think about my daughter is like, man, like I really want her to have some good friends and have a lot of fun. And with my boys, I think with the boys, it's not necessarily too much different, but with the boys, if you realize that they have a certain talent, well, now you want them to be, you got to find a way that they maximize that talent. Like, and you don't want them to if you feel like they can play and they want to play, well, you want to help them get to whatever level that is. And, you have to be realistic about it, but if they have the ability and the want to, well, man, I want them to go play at that next level and then the next level. I don't necessarily, I don't have a little girl and say, hey, I want her to play in the WNBA. Like I just don't have those thoughts. So
yeah, I'm the ice cream guy, Joe.
Yeah.
With the ice cream guy, but I'm getting caught right now. So my wife played soccer through college and very competitive, and my 4 daughters all play competitive soccer and are all really talented, and so there's not many times where I'll get in the car with my daughters and have them sit in the front seat and give them the talk,
Right, right,
the poor boys, like after a football game, after a baseball game,
whole
whatever
ride.
it was like, sit in the front seat of the car and we're going to talk about this.
Yeah.
The whole way to eat lunch, you're just chewing them out. The whole way to lunch, like pull
I
up,
can-
park, like all right, let's go eat as a family now.
I could totally see that. Like I said, I'm not there with my daughter, but I could, oh my goodness, I don't think I'd ever do that with her. It's the same way, like the way I discipline my boys versus my daughter. It's completely different, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it is different. So you could see that for sure.
Yeah, and then so I coach all my daughters in basketball too, and the thing that I get upset about is other teams will get upset with this because the girls are really aggressive. And it's like they're allowed to be aggressive. We're allowed to, play hard, and it's one of those things. Do you treat them different, and why? And what are your aspirations for where they end up? But that's something that Whit and I wrestle with all the time. And we both have freshmen and high school daughters, and they both just went to homecoming. So now we're dealing with all kinds of different things as well that you'll be dealing with soon.
Scary stuff, man.
Joe, what are some of those things that when you think about your career, I know Fitz and I talk about this all the time, like from where we started in the league, all of us really, to what the game was, to it's changed so much, a lot of things, right? From the media landscape to you name it. But like, what are some of those things that you think of back in those days that were really important to you as a football player, mentality wise, and everything that you see as like, man, I hope that right now at this age, I'm still giving some of those things to the guys who play now, like that you feel like carried over from that time that you think are important in the game of football?
I think, man, I think as we kind of go down this lane of like, football and what it's turning into and the way the rules have all changed, football still comes down to physicality, can get lost,
Yeah, I think we've circled back there.
I know it's like such an easy thing to point out and it's such a general statement, but the most physical teams are still the teams that are winning. The teams that find a way, to do that. And I just think because the game has gone towards speed and guys getting smaller, and now you got to worry about getting fined and penalized for every single hit you make, and the rules have made it. It's not just the speed and the style, but the rules have kind of made the game kind of go that way to a certain extent. So I think when you're building a team, sometimes you can kind of get lost in the fact that, you still have to find ways to be physical. And if you want to have a consistently good team, that's the easiest way to do it.
Love that.
Is it less physically taxing for you to play right now than say with 2008, 2009 at the quarterback position?
It's tough. It's so game to game. I feel like for a quarterback, like as to whether you're getting hit or not. I think, I think they were allowed to do more to you. Like, it was the whole 2-step rule. Like, and that kind of evolved like as I came into the league. Like before that, they were willing to give you 2.5, 3 steps, and then it turned into like 2.5 steps, 2.5, 2 steps. Now, if they hit you late at all, like it's usually getting called. And but I don't think that has taken away from the physicality necessarily that you deal with as a quarterback, at least in the pocket. I do think because the way the game's gone, those guys are a little bit more tentative to pull up, a little bit more willing to pull up, like when you're about to slide or dive head first or go out of bounds. So if you're running the ball down the field a little bit, I'm sure like for those guys, for guys that are doing that today, it probably would have been a little bit more physical 20 years ago, because those guys wouldn't have had to worry about getting flagged or getting fined for hitting the guys, slightly, maybe even late. They would have been headhunting a little bit more than they probably do now.
We had JJ Watt on like maybe a month ago, maybe a little more than that. And my favorite was, to your point, he was talking about how one of the young quarterbacks, I forget who it was, if it was Purdy or whoever, but
it was Brock Purdy.
Yeah, Brock Purdy, talking about he gently set him down, like, and he was like, "Wait, what?" Like,
I know,
no, like that's what he thinks of me. It's like that's wild though, how much that's changed.
Well, we were just kind of having some of these conversations in terms of like the edge rushers. Like, you know, back when I came in, like it wasn't dirty, but you had a plan for them. Like you were cutting them the first 3 plays of the game, or you were sending somebody, you were freeing him up and then sending somebody at his thighs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it wasn't to be dirty, but that is the game of football. Like they have to
Yep.
understand what they're in for all day here. And if you can do that early in the game, it's like, hey, this corner doesn't like to tackle. We're not going to block him, and we're going to run Derrick Henry right at him. You know, or we're going to put our tight end. Like if I was in Cleveland back in the day, we would have said, hey, Dave and Njoku, we're not blocking that corner. You're blocking him. You know, we're gonna single him up, and we're gonna let you run right at him and see what happens.
You remember the old tight end motion cracks? Like, you know, that like when I got in the league, that was it. Like first play of the game, we're gonna send the tight end in motion. You're gonna crack the defensive end.
That's right.
Like we're sending a message. I think the word was discourage.
Yes,
I think it was discourage.
That's right. Doing those types of things isn't really part of like the game plan anymore. You know, it's like, hey, we're gonna chip here and we're gonna do this, but like to really discourage these guys from doing something, like that's not really part of the game anymore.
But I did see, and I do like Cam Hayward was one of those guys I hated playing against. You're going to get stepped on. You're going to get kicked. He did throw a little punch at you. He sacked you, or TJ sacked you on one, and he kind of gave you a rib shot.
A little something.
It's funny how like even things like that can disrupt you a little bit. You know, like just grabbing you and spinning you, not throwing you down, but like grabbing you like a little bit what you think is a little bit late and spinning you around and just kind of putting your hands. Like we were playing JJ Watt and the Texans, and we were getting blown out. It might have been 2014, and we were doing the standard. You know, we were getting blown out by 30, but we're still going to try, and we're going to do the 2-minute drill at the end. You know, the last 5 minutes of the game. And I remember every time I threw the ball, whether it was a 3-plant quick game, he put his hands on me there was only 5 minutes left in the game, and it's like, man, this freaking sucks, dude. Like every time I go back, like he's breathing down my neck.
That's why
whether it's going to be a hit.
Yeah, that's why the Purdy conversation came up, because it was like because JJ and I were teammates in 2014. But anytime I played JJ, like you were getting hit all the time, and even if it was just like putting a big paw on you and not knocking you to the ground, like you just knew that he was there.
Yeah. Hey, I just missed you. I was here. You know.
I'll never forget when my last game I played Trey Hendrickson. That was his thing. So like Stafford and him end up getting into it in the game, because even like on a play where he didn't necessarily get there or anything, he would just come by Stafford and give him like a slap on the back or like a pat on the butt. Like he would just touch him, and Stafford would be like, "Dude, stop touching me after the plays. Like, what are you doing?" And the guy was like, "I just want you to know I'm back here. Like, I just want you to know I'm here." Like every play, that was his thing. He wanted to walk by Stafford and give him like a little smack on the back. And kind of like, you know, it looks like you're patting your teammate or your buddy, but it's just a little extra ump to it. You know, just every time letting him know he's around.
No, it's real.
Joe, how are you surprised at Steichen and the Colts this year?
That they've started out this fast? Probably a little bit. I mean, but not surprised. I mean, Shane's not surprised in total. I mean, Shane's a hell of a coach. I think he's a great offensive mind. That's part of the reason. That's a big reason why I went there last year, because I was excited to, have the opportunity to be in the same room as Shane and kind of see how he operates up close. So probably a little bit as to how quick they've started, but overall, no.
And what about Jonathan Taylor? It just seems like he continues
Gosh,
to get better and better. I mean,
crazy.
He's one of those dudes when you watch the film that he looks like he's moving at a different speed than everybody else.
Yeah, his burst is incredible. You give him a little bit of space, he's going to find it. You know, he's one of those guys you can't really. He's really patient on the front end, and if he just has a little bit of room, he's going to find it. And his burst through that hole is pretty elite, because you don't realize the type of speed he has and the game breaking type of speed he has.
So we've got these Cincy hats on. This is a Ted Karras special here. He sells them to raise money for his foundation. I don't know if you got to see the mic'd up, but I know you got to live Ted Karras during a game.
Nobody relax, even for a freaking second. Nobody relax.
I mean, how special of a human being is that dude?
He jumps out at you right away. He the first day I was there, he came and handed me a sheet of the protections, and he's like, "Come on, let's go. Yeah, lunch. We'll go up and watch them together. We'll do this. We'll do that." He handed me 6 hats for my family. He's great. The excitement that he has. I mean, I wish I could bottle it up and take a little bit of it for sure.
I was telling Joe after the game when my boys were, I think, 14 and 12 at the time, and we were playing pool basketball. It was 2-on-2. It was my boys and Teddy and I think my brother. And like Ted was like drowning clowning my 12-year-old. And I was like, Ted, we got to relax like a little bit. Like he's 12, okay? We got no body hair. We got nothing going on. He can't turn it off. He can't turn it off.
Dude, he cannot. My favorite is actually the ending of that mic'd up. You got to watch it. He's walking off the field and he's just giving like random just ahs. And he's like, he looks like a T-Rex who's like walking in the middle of a Jurassic Park movie. And he's just like screaming and like doing his arms everywhere. And I'm like, dude, this guy is an absolute maniac. He seems like he'd be a hell of a lot of fun to play football with.
It's been awesome because you can tell he loves football. So when you're playing with those types of playing with those types of guys, man, it puts things in perspective.
Joe, how do you take your coffee in the morning?
Probably a little dash of cream just to turn the color of it a little bit, you know. But sometimes,
really,
yeah, you know, listen, if it's a lot of these, like this morning, you know, I'll go to the place. I've been going to a place. I think it's called Deeper Roots here. I'll get it black. It's a really good cup of coffee.
There we go.
But if I'm in the facility, I'm putting some cream in it for sure.
Okay.
And how many cups a day are we drinking?
2. Like I'll two large cups probably. One in the morning and you know one.
I'm on
after.
I'm on 3.5 right now, so you know, I'm ready to go. Workout after this. Fitz is a big Americano guy.
I've had one. I've had one today. I'm probably going to go get an afternoon cup as soon as we're done talking.
Oh, I like that.
I'm going to drive down.
Wait, what was the place we went to? Tell Joe about the place we went to.
Soto.
Yeah, Soto.
Soto and Boca.
The Italian place, Soto.
Yeah,
in town here.
Yeah, Chef Falk.
I was thinking about pulling up there last night on a Monday by myself. I decided to go to a place called Cantina. It was this little Mexican spot. I just went and sat at the bar by myself, and it was good. It was good. But
I'm gonna set you up with Chef Falk.
Fitz,
he's the man.
I'm telling you, dude. There's nothing better. Like that's one of the perks that I do get with being by myself out here. Is like I used to see people sitting at a bar by themselves eating and feel so bad for them, and now I just look back on that and I'm like, dude, that guy was in heaven. You know, he had
heaven,
no worries, just kind of hanging out by himself. And
I know, but you got to be careful to share this publicly because if your wife watches this interview, she's gonna have
she knows
all 5 kids draped on her. You know?
Yeah. What'd you do today, honey? Fitz and I did that. So Fitz did a whole breakdown when he went to Augusta about all the things you come home from a guy's trip and don't say that you were doing. You know, like, oh, the sushi was okay, it wasn't as good, like, you know, all that type stuff. But you're right, dude. Like when people ask us about Thursday Night Football and traveling, like that's the first thing Fitz and I, when we get in the city, the first thing we do, go to the hotel bar or some little local bar restaurant, sit up there, watch TV and eat food. And we're like, this is awesome. Like it's just us. There's nothing like, oh, did y'all go out? Did y'all go to this place? No, we just sat at some little cantina, some little pub, Irish pub, and had some fries and a burger and a beer. And it was wonderful. It was amazing.
That's probably one of the biggest benefits you guys get from doing this gig is to still get that, you know, still hanging out with a buddy and like, you know, it's because if you're not, that can get, you know, you can lose that very quickly. You're just at home and doing your thing. And I do think that's important. That's what guys miss is being around each other and doing those types of things. So, well,
I mean, look, you got to see it firsthand. I mean, Al Michaels at 80 years old, he's out there just chilling till 2 a.m. hanging out with the boys. I mean, that's what it's about.
You can tell he's enjoying himself, man. He's having fun doing what he's doing. It's awesome.
I got to ask you this, Joe, because Fitz and I also talk about this all the time because I know I'm pretty sure you had him for a little while there, Cam Cameron. Okay. We get these videos from Cam week to week. He'll do some breakdowns. And I just got to ask, did he talk that slow in the team meetings? Because me and Fitz put it on 2x speed and it's kind of like normal speed because when we're sitting there for an hour and it's just like, well, right here, they're going to play this personnel. And I'm just going, whoo, we got to go, Cam. You got to pick it up for me, bud.
That's funny. I'm sure he's probably slowed down in the last 20 years a little bit. That was my first 5 years in the NFL. I don't remember it being that glaring. I'm sure it was a lot slower than I am. I mean, I'm from the East Coast. I usually talk as fast as I possibly can. So, compared to me, yes, but I don't remember it being that slow. So I'm sure in the last 18 years, he's kind of calmed down a little bit.
Well, and he's also, you got to imagine, he's just sitting in a room, probably having a cup of coffee, and he's just, fast forward, rewinding tape. And you know how chill he is already anyways. So it's just like you're just sitting there and you're like, all right, woo, I got to get this information in faster than this. So Fitz and I always put it on as fast a speed as they'll offer. And then we just like listen to him. We're like, hey, this kind of feels like the speed of how we want to talk right here. 2x.
That's right.
Joe, I've always been curious with you. What's the longest you've ever had your beard?
That's a good
COVID,
question.
COVID. Uh, the year that or the year that they took the kids out of school for like in April or
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever that was. Um, and then they never went back, which was crazy. That was the longest I ever got. We, at some point, I got a house on the Jersey Shore. We decided, hey, screw it. Let's just go down there. Well, they could do their schoolwork. We can, jump in the bay, go to the beach. And I have a picture on my phone. It was wild because I didn't get a
I would love
haircut.
to see it.
I didn't get
We're
a
gonna
hair.
have to get we're gonna
I'll
have to get that picture.
I'll have to send it to you. I didn't get a haircut, and I didn't shave my beard for several months. That was the longest I've had it.
Well,
I've
we talked
always
about
been
your
amazed.
Go ahead, Fitz.
His line goes to here.
Oh,
I
dude.
mean, his
I know
line
it's
is
high.
right
It's
below
super
the
high
eye level.
Yeah, very high.
It's bad. I think I connect with my eyebrows over here, my beard, my beard. Like I can feel beard right here. It's like it connects
That's great.
it connects to my chest hair. It's not ideal, but
We shaved Fitz's neck hair in the green room one year because it just got to a point. I mean, it was going up through his head hair. It was just too much. But
I know.
it's it gets away. You brought up COVID and we've talked about coaching skills. I'd want to know, did you do any homeschooling, like helping out with the kids' work while it was COVID? Because that was also one of my worst moments in life. My son Drew and we have a great relationship. I love my little Drew man. I had some not so good moments trying to teach him math in our family room that I wish I could redo because I was like, this is why I love teachers. That's for sure.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad. For us, it was like the little writing projects they had to do. They were in like first grade, second grade, and they had to write. They had to write a paragraph, and it was tears every day, every day. And it's like, and then you're just yelling at like, dude, just start it. And then I'd give them like 10 little ideas, like, hey, we just went and did this today. How about you write a story about that? And they would just look down at their paper and start crying. And I'm like, this can't be the way. Because
why are we crying?
You're yelling at your kids all day. It's all you're doing is yelling at them. The relationship it was so bad.
Drew still brings it up every now and then. He's like, Dad, do you remember trying to teach me math during COVID? I'm like, buddy, let's leave it alone. Can we just let it go? Can we let it go?
Oh my gosh.
Joe, you get to the point, and you certainly have been there for a few years now, where the guys that you're playing with are closer in age to your kids than you.
Yeah.
Is there a particular position group that you feel like you mesh with on all these different teams better than others?
I don't know. I'm still kind of the person I am. It is wild, man. It is wild. I've been saying it for a couple years. My oldest son is 13. Like there was two kids on Cleveland that were 20 years old when they came when they got drafted. I mean, it's not even close how much closer my kids are in age to them. I always tell people though, like I've been in a locker room for so long now. It's the same to me. I haven't changed, but these guys, like I don't look at these kids any different than I really ever have. But they're looking at me like what the hell, And it wasn't until I think it was when I was in New York. It was when like Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson all got drafted there that year, and I never really thought about it. But that was the first time it hit me. Man, why are these guys looking at me so weird? And then eventually one of them was willing to say like, dude, how old are you? Why are you still doing this?
Well, You've always been a 40-year-old soul. Now you're just in a 40-year-old body, I feel
That's right.
like.
That's
right.
it. That is it. Hey, to your point, Joe, like I had one of those instances right after I retired. I had gotten to meet some guys out in LA, obviously just training, and Ike Iwanu, left tackle for the Panthers at the time, young kid. He's like, hey, can I come to the house? We have him over to the house. Melissa and I are feeding him, young guy, just kind of leaning into him. And at one point, like Melissa and I are hanging out outside, just like, where did Icky go? Like, where is he? And so like, man, he's been gone for an hour. And like, we're just kind of looking around for him. We're like calling. Like I was like, man, I think he might've gone outside. He's on the phone. We ended up finding him. Like my boys had taken him to their game room and they're playing video games. Yeah. And I'm like, babe, like I invite him over and he's hanging out with the boys. And she's like, honey, he's like 8 years older than them and he's 15 years younger than you. Like, of course he wants to hang out with them. And I was like, you know what? I never really thought of it that way, but you're right. Like he is way closer to their age than he is to mine. So he just wants to go play Fortnite with the boys. Like that's what he wants to do is hang out. So I was like, hey dude, anytime, come over and play games with the boys.
I know.
That's the reality though. It is weird when you're that old because even for me at 40, it was like, in the off season, it's like I'm at Sean's house for the draft, or I'm like hanging out with the coaches. Like the coaches were my age and my buddies, and the players, it's like so awkward when you're out places and it's like me and the coaching staff hanging out. And it's like, oh no, that's my teammate.
That's wild because I'm older than most of the coaches that I'm in the room with these days. And, it just is what it is,
Yep.
Okay, last one before we let you go, Joe. I'm curious, other than like obviously grinding and studying the playbook, like how are you feeling all this time? Is there a show you're watching? Do you play video games?
I'm not a gamer at all. I do watch, listen, me and my wife watch most shows together, but so now it's like when I'm out here by myself, it's like trying to find content that like I don't really think she'll care that I watch without her.
I was about to ask you, is there rules? Is there rules to watch one or not?
I'll just start. Like I don't ask her, I don't run it by her, but she'd probably like to watch everything with me. But I know there's certain things that like, she probably really won't care about this. And if she does, and if I'm like 3 episodes in and I'm like, man, this is pretty damn good. Like I'll fill her in and then we'll start watching it together.
I love that.
One of the things that I started watching this year is I watched that F1 movie, the new Brad Pitt F1 movie.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it recommended Senna to me on Netflix, which was about, a driver from the 80s or 90s. And then the next thing you know, I actually watched like the latest episode of that F1 Drive to Survive.
Oh yeah. Drive to Survive.
And that was cool. It was I wouldn't have ever thought about watching that, but because I'm out here on my own, I'll watch it. Me and my kids, like I don't know if you guys watch any anime, but like me and my kids watch One Piece. It's one of it's got 1,500 episodes. So like a couple of the young guys on Cleveland like recommended a different anime to me. They recommended Death Note to me. So I've watched like half of that. So I'll watch pretty much anything.
Look at you.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's I'll try to find something, and at least like the last couple nights, like I don't need to watch the full episode. I'll just put Seinfeld on in the background,
Me too, every night.
Seinfeld.
Every night.
And that way you can do a little bit of work, but you can also like kind of pick up on the episode. You don't really feel like you have to watch the entire thing. It's just kind of on and you're enjoying it at the same time you're doing some work. So
all right, but now I got to ask you another question. Who's your favorite character on Seinfeld?
Oh my gosh. It's so funny because when I was a kid, I just loved Kramer, and I just assumed you were supposed to like Jerry, you know what I mean? Like, and I remember watching reruns with my, like on a Friday night. But when you rewatch it, man, George is just such a good character for me. Like he made the show in so many ways. Yep. I also just feel like Elaine did a great job. Like I think a lot of times, like these shows mess up because everything turns into a love story and you're just waiting for it to happen. And this was a show where she was a main part of the show for the entire time, and that never got in the way. Yep. whether it was just an awesome show in general, but it's funny the different perspective you have on it as a grown up as opposed to a 12-year-old kid watching reruns of it.
I love that.
That's great. Yeah, I fall asleep to that one every night. Actually,
I'm a Frasier Crane guy. I told you guys this the other night. We watch Frasier.
Yep.
We're Frasier people. Me and Melissa, we fall asleep to Frasier. Oh, mainly just because I don't know. At this point, it's like a feel good. We just fall asleep. We put it on, and that's what we go to bed to, basically. But I enjoy that one as well.
All right, Joe. Thank you for taking the time, brother. We appreciate it. We love rooting for you. We love getting to hang out with you the other night. You're the best. Keep playing well. Keep these Bengals afloat, baby.
Let's go, baby. Hoo day.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you, Joe.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.